Hey everybody, we'll be starting in a couple minutes here. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hi Scott, hey Amalith, how are we doing? We will have fun today. We will laugh. If you've not been here before, StreamLoots cards are what we use to make sure that it all happens. If you want to get in and try to make us laugh, it's very easy. You can pick up your StreamLoot cards today, play the cards, I will read them to Riddles, and Riddles is easy. And you can take that however you want. Riddles will laugh at anything. He'll definitely laugh if you're making fun of me, or him, or probably Twitter actually, or really anything. So your goal is to use StreamLoot cards, get Riddles to laugh, to get entries in this month's Laughal with our lovely Grim Reaper box by Works of Whimsy and painted by very own Dice Goblin Riddles. I'm so used to saying 88, I apologize. We'll be live here in about 5 minutes. Get yourself some coffee, get yourself some water, and let's get ready to have some fun this afternoon.
Live yet? Are we 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 live yet?
Yeah.
Are we live?
Your box is live.
Are we live?
Your box is live.
You're not the first person to tell me that.
Now I'm live. See, I didn't make Riddle start off by himself today.
Doing good. How are you?
I'm tired. I am tired.
You look it.
Oh my god, I am so tired today. Not in a negative way, just I was up. So I did the live stream yesterday. I'm doing the design days, which is
I saw that, yeah.
The whole time. And then after that, I am I decided Baldur's Gate needed to be played, and then the sun came up.
I've heard nothing but good things about that game so far, honestly.
You know, I did not enjoy it at the beginning. I thought it was kind of boring. And then I got past like the stupid introductory stuff. It's just like Divinity Original Sin. There's a lot of introductory shit. And then now it's awesome. You just got to get through it. I will say, I don't know how happy I am on my class choice. I went against the grain. I went against the grain. I played a 5e Ranger, which we all know is the worst class that they make.
And I've played a Ranger.
Yeah, and it was disappointing. But there is something good about it. My audio is weird. There we go. There's something good about it. You can talk to animals. And every animal in the game has dialogue. I mean, every animal. And they like tell you secrets where things are. They point you to treasure. I was like, okay, this is amazing. I can speak to animals.
That's kind of cool, yeah.
And then I have a speak to dead as a item, and that's really powerful in the game. So a bunch of fun stuff has come from it. It's not bad. I just wasn't digging it at first for some reason, and now I'm like, well, when is our stream over? I want to go play more Baldur's Gate. I can't though. I have a bunch of stuff to do, and then I got another live show after this. So how have you been? What have you been doing this week?
Well, been painting all the new boxes.
Boxes. Oh, the Elderwood ones.
Yeah, the Elderwood ones.
You said they've been selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, so far nothing has lasted more than 12 hours on the site. So
is that a record?
I don't know if it's a record, but it's really impressive. It's not something I've ever tracked before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where a new product launch like this, and it's hard to say if it's the product, if it's the painting that I'm doing, because I'm doing most of them I'm taking up a notch and doing
kind of like we do for this show.
Yeah, custom paints. They're all one-of-a-kind paints that I'm not gonna. I might use a similar style on a different wood, but you'll never see these on aromatic cedar again. And
that's because they're not making the cedar again, right?
Right. The cedar is the really exclusive part on this.
Did they say it's because it's kind of a pain in the butt to make or something?
It has a high failure rate, is what it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, because it splits, long splits. That's right.
Yeah. So, but I have 7 more coming. I ordered 7
cedar
more
ones.
The cedar. That's the last ones they had in stock. So I got the last 7 of those. They'll be coming soon or next week, I hope.
Cool.
Along with there was a couple that the werewolf one has done extremely well on the hex chest. I had 4 and they sold out within 12 hours.
The werewolf.
So.
Oh, okay. The one with the moon?
Yep. So I have more of those coming, and I've modified it to work on these. So I will have the werewolf design on the triples on walnut in that same order. Do you
have a favorite wood to paint on? I don't think I've ever asked you that. Do you got a
I
favorite,
really like walnut.
Wood?
I really do. Walnut has a lot of there's some challenges because of the variance in the tone that walnut can have.
Right, the light to dark.
Yeah. So it has a variance as far as that goes, which makes it a little challenging. I like the texture of it. There's a lot you can do with the innate voids that are in the grains to really help give it depth and texture. So and walnut's just a good wood in general. Overall, it is a very sturdy, reliable grain of wood.
Did you Do you have an exotic wood that you like painting?
Babinga's interesting, which is a African rosewood.
Okay.
That one does get it's the inherent darkness of that wood is kind of fun to play with as far as contrasts go.
Oh.
I would love if I could get it on a regular basis, or if any of my partners had a regular supplier that could supply it all the time. The two woods I love the most are spalted maple, which we've talked about multiple times in here. I would love to work with spalted maple more. And I also would like to try to work with cypress.
Yeah, you've mentioned that, but no one has it.
Yep. Right. Cypress is just a hard wood to get a hold of.
Is spalted the same thing? Because spalted is basically a mold, if I remember correctly, that causes to look the way it is.
It's a fungus inside the wood.
A fungus, that's what it is, fungus. And so it just makes it rare?
No, it doesn't make it rare. It's not really that uncommon.
Oh, okay.
Spalting happens to a lot of different breeds of tree. So
maple's common out here.
Yeah. So, and with how prolific maple is in general, it's typically not too hard, but it's still expensive because it's highly desired.
Oh.
Because it gives, like, if you've never seen spalted maple, guys, it's like marbled wood.
Yeah,
what you're looking at.
It looks like cartography lines. Yeah. Typography lines.
Yeah, it's a great wood. I love it.
Jen and I were looking at getting a slab and doing a new dining room table with it. Unfortunately, the gentleman who's doing it came down with some illness, so we put the whole thing on hold. But here, actually, you can see it here.
Yeah, it's a pinkish purple amulet. I just did that before I went to Gen Con, so
this is spalted maple, everybody. My buddy had a spalted maple guitar. Oh, that's awesome. Actually, I went on here. I love the ones like this that are split in like a 2 to 3 tone wood where they're using other woods with it. And if I remember correctly, spalted maple doesn't swell and crack as easy either as other woods, because it's kind of like.
Well, it's more treated. Because typically it's already in that drying, dying process when you get, because it's.
This is my favorite. This kind of, oh, it's so gorgeous.
It's diseased wood, people, is really what it is.
Yeah, you're buying diseases.
You're buying diseases. Yeah, but yeah.
Here it is. Look at this. Spalted, gorgeous blue guitar. Oh, wow. So pretty. But yeah.
Yeah, staining spalted maple is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, hands down. Oh, you left your table dirty today too. That makes me happy.
Yeah. Being a slob right now as far as my paint palette goes.
It's great. It looks like it's being used.
Oh yeah, it's constantly being used. So
sick wood. Fucking clown. God damn it. Should have saved that for a card. That's some thick wood you got over there. See, other than that, I mean, I've been busy. I'm getting ready to build a new enclosure. I've been prepping for the shows. I have so many shows to do. I got a meeting with Alchemy on Friday. We're talking.
Oh, nice.
What is feasible for what I need to do. So, they're gonna kind of let me know, hey, yes, no, maybe so. You could do this, you can't do that. If it would work, if it won't work, and all the stuff in between. So I'm excited for that. I am unhappy that today, right before the show, I said I couldn't hear riddles, and this ear monitor stopped working, and this thing comes apart. They're not expensive, but it just stopped. It's just like, it sounds like this when Middle's talking, and it's super whispery. And I can't. And it sounds like that. Well, it's this thing's fault. But there's no water in it. I thought maybe it was a cable, but since they come apart, I connected another one, didn't work. So I got to get myself a new one, because these are a daily use item in my house. I mean, as much as I'm streaming, they are a daily use item. But I think I got them for like $30-something. They're not expensive, so I'm not gonna bitch about it. But yeah. So
Scott, what you're talking about there is a different process that goes more toward like your driftwood effect. But spalting is a fungus that happens in dead trees, but can sometimes happen in live trees if the tree is not able to defend itself from it. But yeah, so it's just a fungus that grows in a dying tree, causes this weird marbling effect in the wood.
Yep.
So it doesn't have to be soaked or submerged, but that's what makes it a little easier to work with, or somewhat easier to work with, because it is already dying. That's why it doesn't have to have any drying time really. It's usually already at that point.
Yeah. So are we what are we painting this week, sir? Are we still painting the
Well,
special?
we're still working on the chakras, so I got to get the chakras going. Put our little death box over there.
Yeah, that's the one that's up this month.
Actually, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna.
And for those that are new, there's a couple ways you can enter. You can either pick up some
There you
kofi. Kofi tickets get you auto entries per ticket, 1 entry per ticket. We have 4 weeks this month, so we have a couple more Thursdays, which is great. You can play cards like this one here. Oh, okay. Let's see your luck today. Roll them if you got them. There are a lot of the cards in the Streamloot deck that if you roll, you'll have rolls that come up. You can do exclamation point 1d20 and it will roll in chat. The one that's on chat right now, they get an 8. They get an 8. They get 8
What is
entries.
the werewolf?
No, this is the 8 entries one.
Oh.
Serving Hands is sitting on it. Then we have some combat cards where you fight things and you have to roll above the number that's on the card. There's a bunch of them in there, from goblins all the way up to the War Duke. Currently, the War Duke is dating one person and one person only. But we'll see if they can be taken. 16. I mean, it is a double of 8. It is 88 technically added together, but no. And then there's some other ones that are like Mad Libs. You fill them out, and if you make riddles laugh while I'm doing this, then you get an entry, which is super fucking easy. And then last, I think, is probably the golden tickets. I usually tell people to throw them in whenever they get them. I'll add those all up at the end. All right, I gotta get our cheater pad for all those people who win. Get entries.
Pad?
Yeah, it's my pad.
Why do you cheat?
This is the pad for writing down names. Pad for writing down names. So I'm doing that right now. I'm doozing it. All right. We used blue last time. I'm going to use purple this time. So how much more do you got to do on these riddles?
What's that?
How much more do you have to do on these ones?
Well, I want to get the chakras the proper colors, so we're going to work on that today.
Are you going to do that for both of them?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like the way the sepia effect is working on the other one, but it still needs some love. So we're going to give it some color to pop. So we'll work that out. Yeah, I'm hoping these should be pretty well received, I think. Have you guys seen any of the newer ones I've been doing?
They look awesome. I'd like to show people them, but they're sold out.
Yeah,
I guess. I can go through Twitter. I can go through the big damn Twitter. Maybe. Actually, I might not be able to. We'll see here. Let me see here. Because Twitter is not letting me change my name anymore. It's not letting me do anything.
Yeah, because he wants you to pay for everything.
Yeah.
It's like basically he's turned Twitter into a microcharging process.
I don't think that's the thing you do to change your name, though. Like, everyone's been changing their stuff back and forth forever. I never saw a warning saying we can't change back and forth. All right, let me pull this up. So there's riddles. How come it's showing your old stuff and not your new stuff?
I don't know.
I have to log in to see your shit.
Okay, that's fucking annoying.
Like, it's the most recent post as it's showing right now is September 27th, 2021.
Holy shit.
But if I'm logged in on this browser over here, it shows me everything. So ridiculous.
Yeah, welcome to wonderful world of Elon.
This motherfucker right here. Why you gotta be like this, homie? Why you gotta be like this? Why? Why? Why, I say? Well, that's not it. That's not it. I don't remember the password for this anymore. I don't. And it keeps making me do this stupid picture thing every time I log in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, captchas can be freaking annoying.
Well, it's like every time because OBS, Stream Deck, and Stream Deck logs in through Twitter, and that's the other thing he's messing up for a lot of people. A lot of things use Twitter as a login, and you're basically messing that up. Like, I mean, how many times have we used Twitter as a login for things?
Well, I had a CAPTCHA earlier this week that, kind of like what you're going through, that asked me to mark all the squares with a motorcycle in it.
Oh, God.
It was a fucking scooter.
That doesn't count. That's not a motorcycle.
But that's the only thing that was there.
I know. It's
like, but this is not a motorcycle. I don't even think hipsters would agree that this is a motorcycle.
I don't even think hipsters would agree. Oh my God. Let's see if I can get this to work.
Yeah, one of the things that makes, or one of the interesting things I find in chakra is that keep it just a little bit different than your standard rainbow is that there's 2 shades of blue in a chakra set.
Oh no, we got more rolls.
Roll it like you own it.
Oh, Amulet, I saw it. I'm just not saying anything yet.
What? Wait,
I'm not saying
what?
anything yet.
Saw what?
Amulet sent me something this morning. I'm just not saying anything. I do have plans for it though. It looks amazing. It looks really good. Amulet is the wonderful.
Is it a new
No,
map?
well, I mean, kind of, but not really. Kind of. But I'm not saying anything because I'm gonna do some stuff to it for one of the shows. But Amulet is providing some of the maps starting for Corpse Talk.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
gonna be using. Yeah. All right. I see all your cards. You're just playing them like crazy. What is this one? Oh, this is is this the wolf one? Oh, you gotta fight a displacer beast? You failed against a displacer beast, girl. Girl, here, let me help you. Let me see if I can do it. 1d20. See how I do. Would I beat it? No, see, I would have tied it and got mauled by the displacer beast as well. Yeah, that noise. That's that noise. It's okay. It's okay, serving hands. It's all right. You can keep trying. Eventually, you'll win one of the fights. One of the fights, eventually you'll get it. So, was Turbo Dork at Gen Con? Because I did not see them.
No, Turbo Dork was not, but Monument was. So I got to talk to Jason while I was there for a minute. And it's great that, I mean, like, we haven't had a lot of like face-to-face interaction, but he recognizes me, which is kind of nice. Yeah, no, they had all the. I do love that they have. There's 2 Braum miniatures that they have, and I would love to get one of the Braum miniatures. And I know my problem is I don't think I can do it justice because Braum is just freaking amazing, and to try and replicate one of his pieces in a 3D format, I'm not sure.
I've painted miniatures that way. I'll tell you what, though, it's very hard to do without using oils. I mean, oils are the key.
I could see that.
Like, my buddy, that was his stuff. I mean, his want to be as close to as possible, which was to be Braum.
Gerald Braum is absolutely incredible. He's him and Bradstreet are the 2 guys that I would love to meet that I have yet to meet.
I think we talked about this below now, but how old is Braum now?
He's got to be a little younger than. Well, no, he should be our age.
Think so?
I believe so.
Well, I don't. I'm gonna purchase another one of these headsets. I'm mad that I have to do it, but it's an everyday use. Sometimes 4 times a week, like this week.
Hey, wait. I know Strength probably isn't in chat, but
he is not.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate that mural that was at PF Chang's.
Oh my God. Riddles, do you want to explain this, or do I want to explain this? You heard more of the conversation than I did because you were at that end of the table.
So I'm at the. All right. There's 8 of us, right? I think we had.
Yeah, 8 or 10. It was a lot. Yeah.
I'm on the opposite end from Eric, and I'm surrounded by 3 actors with stunt backgrounds.
Oh yeah, because Adam and Diana as well. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam, Diana, and Strength. Right. So I've got all 3 of them around me, and there's this mural above where you can see into the kitchen. So above that, there's this giant mural of an Asian woman holding a katana,
right.
And she's holding it in a guarded stance.
Sure. Until she gets hit.
We'll say a defensive stance.
Yeah, defensive. Yeah, defensive.
Right?
Yeah, that's it.
And the hand placement was all wrong, especially on the hand next to the hilt. What's that separates the blade from the handle?
Cross hilt? Cross guard?
Cross hilt. So that little ornament. So the hand right there is wrong, holding it wrong, first of all, because you're not going to do it.
It was so bad.
And the sword was upside down. So like holding like this, and the flat of the blade is this way. So if she actually blocked something with it like that, it's going to cut into her arm. And we're just like going like it drove Andrew crazy.
Yeah, Strength was gonna lose his mind.
Yeah, Strength was he was losing his mind over that one. That was like, holy shit.
So like, I mean, I did a lot of martial arts in my time, and it definitely was not held right. Like when you're holding, I have a katana downstairs. I don't have any up here right now, but she's holding it like this, but it's like back over here, so she was like a reflection of the blade. But the way she was holding it was wrong because it was like that. And
her hand was twisted forward too much. So both her hands were not in because your hands should be in alignment, and she had a twist like that, and like you just
couldn't hold it. You couldn't. She'd have cut her shoulder off if anyone actually hit the weapon. You don't actually parry with that part of it anyway. But yeah, I know serving hands. No one's asking the proper nomenclature for that part of the sword in Japan. Nobody's asking for that. No one is.
But no, I would like to know what it is. If she is,
no one's asking that.
I just asked.
We were there already. We achieved the word we were looking for. It's cross guard. I'm waiting for her to start yelling at me.
Scott, you need to go in there and tag team Eric for this because he's being a pain.
I'm not. I'm just being honest.
He's a pain.
I'm waiting for her to just like, oh yeah? Oh yeah? And it's like, I appreciate your information serving hands. But yeah, no, it's she knows I'm teasing her for a totally different reason. But anyway, yeah, all the parts of the sword in Japan have totally different. Yeah, I know, totally different names. It's Suba, right? That's how you pronounce it. T is silent, correct? Because it's not Tsuba. That's the handguard.
You mean it's not Tsunami?
No. You know, I think it's funny too that they decided on such a tiny guard for such a long ass sword. I really do.
Well, you have that little bit is meant just to keep your hand from slipping to the blade.
Oh, I know. Well, it's also a guard though.
That's not.
It's to save your knuckles too, but it will not guard your knuckles. That's what I said. Tsuba. The T is silent. It's not Tsuba. That's what I said. It's exactly what I said. I'm quite aware of what the parts are. I just wasn't trying to get all fancy.
Yeah, whatever. Wait. When do you ever pass up an opportunity to be fancy or show off your knowledge? I mean, seriously? I call bullshit.
So
chat,
no,
let's call
not
bullshit
true.
on that,
That's not
okay?
true. It's not bullshit. So okay, how many people here grew up taking martial arts? We're gonna get nerdy for a minute. How many people here grew up taking martial arts? Did you, Riddles?
No, there wasn't a lot of martial arts options in
Hell?
a small Cajun town in the swamps.
Oh no, survival was the only thing there is in the Cajun towns and swamps. So I found that unless I'm amongst other martial artists that are being super nerdy about the hobby and the training that we do, that public speaking about it usually got you made fun of, yelled at, or made people uncomfortable. So I fucking stopped doing it. Because it's such, and I think sports are actually very similar to this. A very deep nerd level, just geek level of understanding of your passion. So that when you're talking to other people who aren't passionate about it, they stare. The same as people who talk about their sport team nonstop. So I stopped doing it as a kid because I was getting made fun of for it. So now I use as much common terminology as I can when I'm talking about martial arts. Especially after being a bodyguard for 13 years, like I'm not going to go through all the details of how certain operations and tactics work because I sound like a nerd. If it's a podcast someone's tuning in for to listen to that kind of stuff, then I'll go as deep as I can. So it's just I don't know. It's one of those things I beat out of myself as a kid to make sure that I wasn't talking about boxing stances and the right way to hit a bag if your foot's injured and, you know, all that kind of stuff. How to rack a gun when your left arm is injured.
What?
I mean, yes, every hand same. Got 20 years of martial arts, a combination of American Chinese Kempo and boxing and Muay Thai and numerous other self-defense, roles and training to people who did Aikido because I thought it was fun and decided I hated Aikido because the instructor I had was bad. I actually liked the art form a lot, but I did not enjoy taking it with that gentleman. He was I should have known when I was younger, when he was a diehard Steven Seagal fan, that something was wrong.
Oh, geez.
Right? I'm a hockey fan. Same thing, Amalith. I'm a huge hockey fan. I played hockey as well growing up. Grew up in Detroit, so that's the only sport team we had that didn't suck shit. Oh, yeah. Not anymore, though, but...
I I was around for the era of.
You're right.
Who
Serving
Dat?
hands. You're right. You were around for the era of what?
Who Dat?
Oh.
When the Saints were like really getting things kind of going in the late '80s, and it was all about who Dat.
I mean, they still kind of have that.
Oh yeah, it hasn't died. I was just there when it started and went nuts.
Let's see here.
What? What?
I'm looking something up to put on screen. Oh, so there's something fun we can talk about here while we're playing.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull this up on screen. I did get rid of stuff pulled up. So here's his new boxes. We'll do this first. So these are the new ones.
The Raven is the only like standard one that I've put out so far. All the custom ones. Yeah. Well, I love the change in orientation. I when I was doing the dual hex, I had it as a standing like a portrait style. Now I have it a landscape, and
looks really.
It has a little more breadth to really work with in the landscape format.
I remember when we painted this one back on the show. This design.
Yeah, and the koi came out amazing. I am super happy with the koi. The koi was my.
What is this one?
That one right there. That one came out so damn good. I was so happy with that one.
The space one is like
and then
glow in the dark.
One,
yeah, Feywild, yeah.
So it had all this. I have this little neon hidden in it, and I've got color shift hidden in it. So it's just kind of like.
It's a really fun piece.
Yeah, something fun to really look at, you know?
Got a little bit of like a bubblegum vibe. Oh, the stills look... Oh, yeah, you can see a lot more in the stills, too, all the colors. That's cool. Rarely do you say you can see more in the stills. What else we got here?
There was the other koi.
I think I hit them all.
Nope, there's another koi that's in there, and
there it is. Ooh, I like this. The greenish water. This is dope.
Yeah, it was a very different approach, and that's all turbo dork. That's 100% turbo dork right there, except for the black base. The black base was not.
That is super cool looking, man.
Yeah. So,
even the white's turbo dork.
There is no white.
These little.
That's all highlights.
Well, that's just from the light hitting it?
Yep.
No shit.
No shit.
Oh, yeah, look at that. That's really cool.
And there was I think there was one before the koi.
No, it's here. This one? The half-painted moon goddess?
Yes, the moon goddess.
Yeah.
Which Mime got that one. Mime was snuck in on that one and got it.
That's
yeah,
cool.
there's the.
Well, it's got. Oh, yeah. You know what it reminds me of a little bit? Blue jeans.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But this was all pearlescent inks that I used, and then I put silver on the moons. So it's actually when you
kind of blended it out.
Well, the moons have just a slight shift in hue from that white iridescent. So it's at certain angles you see that difference very clearly, but otherwise the moons just kind of blend into their own glow.
Oh yeah, right there you can see it.
Yeah, so
they're darker, almost like
they're not as reflective,
like stainless steel almost.
Yeah, so it's kind of a cool effect.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, it was really fun to play with, and I like the way the texturing came out on it. So, so yeah, outside of those, I still have the 2 chakras to finish, which what we're doing for this.
Oh.
And then I've got these 4 which aren't finished yet. These are the last 4 I've got to do out of
I'll
this
take out the big picture one here.
So I have one more Feywild to do.
Yep.
I have one more of the Moon Goddess to do. And I haven't decided what angles I'm going to use for those two yet. And then I have the Sword of Destiny, which I haven't put out there yet. But this morning, as I'm going through it, I kind of got a vibe. So this is going to be the Sword of War, and this is going to be the Sword of Entropy for the Horseman. So,
oh, okay. I love this. So the Darksiders is one of my favorite video game series, especially
yeah,
War,
that was a great game.
And I really enjoyed those. So if you do 2 more to match that and do the full set, that'd be awesome.
So yeah,
I love War.
Be...
War was one of my favorite characters in video game history. I mean, that's Joe Madigan for you.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, but I'm very happy with the way this is kind of coming about. I'm debating on this. I want to think about that a little bit. I think I know what I'm going to do with it, but it'll be interesting. This will be where I want to take this. I think is going to be a very big.
Hey Raven, I just saw you came in here, buddy. While you're working, thank you. Sadly, I'm broken, so no roller derby for me. Look, you play a lot of hard sports in your life, Amulet. Eventually, those injuries come. I feel you. Yeah, I'm just going back to the chat here. Yeah, the guy who I trained in Aikido in for like not even a year. I think I quit after 5 months with him. He had a hard on for Seagal. He talked about him all the time and all these different things before he was even training people properly. I was really interested in working, learning the swordsmanship of it. That's what I really wanted to do, and he wanted us to do all the other stuff to begin with. So I left that, and I had already at that time had almost 12 years of training in martial arts, and I was willing to learn new things. The guy was just such a fucking weirdo. And then American Chinese Kempo, was what I did for the longest. That and boxing. I mean, I still box. Flippers skates. Oh god. So for me, it's weird. I can ice skate, and I can wear ice skates. They don't bother my ankle. I'm flat-footed. I'm missing a bone in each foot, and I mean like hella flat-footed. I could roller skate, but I could not rollerblade. All the rollerblades they made, because of how they make them, the arches are so high in them. Even if I got the hockey versions for like, street skating, they hurt my feet so bad I just couldn't wear them. Like, I literally threw a pair of rollerblades at a train. I'm not even fucking around. They hurt so bad I took them off in the middle of the park when I was skating with a friend, and I chucked them at the train because my feet hurt so bad. So I can't wear rollerblades, but I can ice skate and roller skate. Funny I mentioned roller skating. The new show that we're doing in the 1970s, because it's in the 70s. I mean, obviously roller skating is huge. We've got some crazy shit planned for this show. We did our first meeting for Everyday Heroes.
Oh, nice.
And we made our characters and started going through everything.
Is that the new 5e modification?
It's so originally D20 Modern was the system, and since D20 Modern came out, it did really well. And even that one was very different than D&D back in the day. Very different set piece. They're based around the stats, each classes, and they did the same thing. They brought back a lot of the team. Evil Genius is doing it, and the book is thick. It's a lot of fun, and I'm like, oh god, I was like, I don't want to run another 5e after Dragonlance. I'm done with 5e. I really want to run Modern, and these guys have done some crazy shit where they have some of the coolest IPs. Like right now, the lineup is Escape from New York, Escape from LA, kind of together, Kong, Pacific Rim, The Crow, Highlander, which I'm super excited. I kind of want to check that out. Highlander, and then they have 5 other ones I think slated to come out, and they're IP adventures. The adventures are the IPs. So I talked to some people who worked for them. They're not right now. They did for like their Kickstarter and stuff. Told them what I was doing in the background, and what I'm doing is an IP they already want. So and I didn't know that. It just makes sense. So it's kind of a match made in heaven. I'm not saying what the IP is to anyone publicly. You won't know the IP until the end of the first episode. My players don't even know the IP that we're playing. I just had them make characters, and they have to have one common rule between them all. Like two things. They all work out at the same gym, and we're deciding what that gym is, and we'll decide some of that in real time. And then
Are you doing Baywatch?
Yeah, I'm doing Baywatch. Although I tell you what, with Cypher System, I could run a hella good Baywatch game. Oh, could you imagine if you did Monster of the Week and ran Baywatch? Oh my, like a new body's washed up. How'd they die? Oh my god, I want to do a Baywatch Monster of the Week now. Allie, if you're here, we have a new goal. Could you imagine? Oh my god. Anyway, no, it's not Baywatch. So we made our characters, went really clean, and what made me change my mind is I didn't want to run two sci-fi games at the same time. Because if I ran Coriolis and I ran Blade Runner at the same time, I'm running two sci-fi. I just don't want to burn myself out like that. And I've really wanted to run modern, and I made a character for Everyday Heroes. I was like, holy shit, this is not 5e. It is so different than 5e. Well, first off, it's only 1 to 10. That's all the levels there are. And you're double stacking archetype and class. And you get some crazy wild shit out of it. I'm super excited for it. Uh-oh. New card.
I've decided that I'm going to run Marvel at the shop for September.
Yeah.
And what I'm thinking of doing is I think I'm going to do I'm contemplating doing one shot that I can repeat every week with a different group.
Oh, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. So
what? We're going to go back to Marvel in just a second because I actually want to talk to you about it. So first, before we do that, we have a card up and it's time relevant.
Okay. All right.
You're not going to believe this, but I'm from the future. You've got to stop Eric from making monsters run on the beach in bikinis.
No. There's a whole audience for that, okay? There's a whole audience for that.
Wolfman, could you imagine if Wolfman just waxed the bikini line, but everything else is still fur? Just lying around. Wait, does that mean that Creature from the Black Lagoon has to wear a bikini?
Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like that would be dirty if he had to wear one, right? Oh my god. Woo. Look, I would love to run it. I think it'd be hilarious. I would run it as a joke one for sure. For sure.
Be like a one episode thing.
Yeah. Amelith says I have huge. Okay, Amelith, I read that way wrong. Amelith, after me saying I was flat-footed and missing a bone in each foot, they said I have huge arches, and they said I can hold a can of Coke in there. I thought she said I can do a line of Coke in there, and I was gonna ask a lot of questions.
And you'd be fair to ask questions if that was actually what was written.
Right. I'm like, there's so many easier ways. Why would you use your feet? Oh, that's a fetish I don't want to know about. But no, yeah, I can pick up anything with my feet. That's not my problem. It's just shoes. They hurt like a motherfucker. Entire doctor's offices would show up when I get x-rays after twisting my ankles and shit. The whole group would show up and be like, look at this kid's feet. They're fucked up as hell. I can do a line of Coke off these curves. That's a new line. Oh man. Oh, I need to write that down. That might have to be. I can do a line. Off these curves. That sounds like something from Boogie Nights.
I was gonna say Blow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too.
That was a great movie. I not sorry.
What, Glow?
Yeah, Blow.
Oh, Blow was fantastic.
Blow was like, man.
For a drug that was so predominantly around in the 80s and now is nothing but ketamine. Hilarious. Totally down the wrong rabbit hole, but fucking funny.
Wait, there's rabbit holes here?
There is. IP Independent Pale Ale? No, it's not, but I do like me some IPAs.
I don't get mad about IPAs, I'll tell you that.
Scott, where did that come from? That was left field. What? Oh, hold on a minute, hold on. Scott said, I played in a Ghostbusters Fate game once, and all the ghosts were people we knew from work. Did that person work for the post office?
That's actually kind of a cool idea.
What happened? War Duke in the in a bikini? Vakini? Yeah, obviously serving hands that creature goes skinny dipping. We talking tasteful swimsuit or full on sling banana hammock? Look, the Wolfman would have to sling it. I think it'd be hilarious. It's the only way it would work. I was gonna say doctor and worried about the questions that might ask. Yeah. Hilarious. All right, we got another one here. Oh no. Oh no. Ah. Let me take a breath. So don't yawn. Your father was a powerful Jedi, Luke. Before he died, he left you something very precious. This weird foot fetish. No, I don't think he left coat curve foot fetishes.
I'm not sure about this. I'm uncomfortable.
Oh, you excited for Ahsoka this month?
Hell yeah.
It looks so
How
good.
can you not be? Chopper is going to be in live action.
I know.
And for all you people who have never watched Rebels, oh, you were in for a treat. Because that little droid. And if Ezra is in it, it's legit in it, and they do him right. Between Ezra, Sabine, and Chopper, you're gonna want to watch Rebels.
Yeah, I expect a boost of Rebels. True serving hands. Coke feet are way better than Pepsi feet. Fucking true.
I'm all about the Dr. Pepper and the root beer, so you know. I hit a little different on that. You know,
when we were going through the 1970s, because that's when our new show is going to take place. We were going
Mr.
through
Pibb.
the old Dr. Have you seen the original Dr. Pepper musical commercial? The original DP that has Popeye in it.
I've probably seen it.
Dude, we were just going through all the crazy shit in the 70s because I'm gonna make a list of things that are different, what's going on, that kind of stuff for it. And man, it is hysterical. The shit from the 70s.
Well, here's an interesting fact about Dr. Pepper from back then. It was originally formulated with prune juice.
It was.
And the reason they took the prune juice out is because people were allergic to it. Are you freaking kidding me?
That's okay. It's called thinning the herd. I'm a pepper, you're a pepper. Yeah, exactly. That's the one, serving hands. Dr. Pepper ribs, all right. Yeah, Dr. Pepper ribs are super good. I've 100%.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper's a great braising liquid.
Yeah, it's got all the sugars in it, everything you need. It's fantastic. Yep. I can't agree more with that.
Yeah.
Let me find this. Hold on here. Let me find.
Yeah. You like that, don't you?
What?
Nothing. I'm just talking to my bottle.
You all right over there?
My paint likes it when I spank it.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as it knows.
It
So 1970s. This is going to be. All right. Let me find this. We went through a whole list. It was everything from the 70s. Let me see if it's in our Discord. Let's see if I can find it. Because we were talking about this the entire time.
If you're reviewing things from the 70s and deciding whether or not it is or isn't, or if it's changed or whatnot.
No, it's just more, it was more to set people's mood for the series. Like
right, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
But there's a very important thing to all of us from the 70s that I think we need to...
Is there?
We want to know, is it in the game?
What?
TSR.
Oh.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm not telling you.
Well, that's bullshit.
Well, I don't care if you don't like it.
I know you don't care.
That's why we were looking through all the 70s cars, too. By the way, 60s, 70s, 80s, best-looking cars.
My number one pick is a 69 Dodge Charger RT. Thank you very much.
It's one of the ones that we were showcasing, actually.
We
were even digging through all the roller skates as well. Oh, here we go. I'm a pepper.
The only thing that sucks about that car...
Oscar Mayer commercial.
What?
Oscar Mayer, that's the beginning of the Oscar Mayer commercial, the kid fishing, sitting on something. My name. That's where it started. Caligan water softener, the most racist commercial of all time. Mr. Yuck, poison center control. Do you remember Mr. Yuck?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude.
Oh, here's another one you got to have.
Here, so you guys
rock.
That is something we definitely talked about.
Yeah, Schoolhouse Rock's be a thing, man.
Here you go. Spanking paint is okay, but we draw the line at kofi. I mean, sure. This paint likes it rough. So that's Mr. Yuck. So you all can see it. It's pretty entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I could probably... Give me a second. I can play it over here. Mr. Yuck commercial premiered in 1975. So let me mute our music. And I'll play it through here.
Mr. Yuck is me. Mr. Yuck is green.
Home is full of lots of things that children shouldn't touch. Home is full of bad things that can hurt you very much. Now there's a man whose face is green that you ought to get to know. He'll warn you when danger's coming fast or slow. Get to know his face in every single place. When you see it, you'll know quick. Things marked yuck make you sick, 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 sick. Mr. Yuck is me. Mr. Yuck is green.
So that was their poison control. They would mark everything that was poisonous with Mr. Yuck for kids. Yeah, exactly, Scott. That's the old 1975 commercial for things that are poisonous in your house as a PSA. Is that not wild, Riddles?
Like I was saying, I couldn't hear it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, on stream you can hear it.
Yeah, well, I can't have the stream on or it echoes.
I know. Hold on. Let me fix it on my end. Give me a second.
I can watch it later. It's not a big deal.
You should have been able to hear that, actually. I piped that into our chat.
Nope. I heard two things. Jack shit and your voice.
Huh. Weird. Did the audience hear it? You guys heard it, right? Yeah, they're like, that was something. Yeah, okay, they heard it. I don't know why you couldn't hear it. That's weird. Because I have it set to stream in here. I got a wavelength stream. Very weird. I don't understand.
You're very weird.
Well, yes. You guys heard the Mr. Yuck one, right? I'm assuming you heard it. Yeah, I thought you could. Okay, cool. No, not me. Riddle says he couldn't hear it, which is weird because he should be able to hear it because I turned it on so it would push into our feed. It doesn't matter. So yeah, we were looking up all a bunch of crazy 70s stuff, and Mr. Yuck was one of the best ones, along with obviously all the disco stuff and things like that. And it's yeah, it's gonna be a fun show.
Yeah, Schoolhouse Rocks has hidden messages in it. That's a fun thing. Yeah, do that.
Oh my God, no, we're not doing that. 1970s. I gotta figure out what I can get away with playing as audio stuff too, because there's some audio things that I want to play during the show, and I want to see what I can get away with. Let me find Stream Beats albums. All. I'm gonna do this one. I'm trying to find the other things. I looked it up. I think it's stuff from the 70s is what I looked up. There's like a list of things that were 70s specific, and now I can't find it in my history.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
poor Eric.
Don't be a dick.
So disappointing.
Don't be a dick. What would have Monday's been? Monday would have been the 15th, right?
I think so.
Okay. Nope. 1970. Or did we meet Sunday? We met, never mind, we met different day. Plymouth Roadrunner.
That was a fun car.
Best looking cars of the 70s.
Do you have a Barracuda in there? Please
We
tell me
do.
you got a Barracuda in
We
there.
do. The old Roadrunner as well.
One of the great things about the Barracuda was where they had the gas tank placed was right between the rear wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no other obstructions.
My dad owned
So
one.
it was easy to modify
Yep.
to put on a wider tire set.
Yep, sure was. That's why it was used for drag racing a lot.
Yeah, you just put in a smaller gas tank, and it allowed you to it gave you the room you needed to get those really wide racing
Yep.
tires on there.
Yep. 100% true. 100% true. I found the link here. I'll pull it up on stream here.
And I'll tell you, you want to know where I know that from? Who initially instructed me on that?
Mm-hmm.
My mother.
No shit.
My mother was a gearhead.
Oh, no shit.
That's
Okay.
that's how she met my sperm donor.
Gotcha.
Was drag racing at the old Chenault Air Base.
Yeah, my dad drag raced at Milan a lot in Michigan. So, this is a pop culture stuff from the 70s. Look at trends, toys, and fads of the 70s. Pet rocks from the 70s.
Oh, geez.
Mood rings from the 70s.
Cabbage Patch Kids.
CB radios are from the 70s.
Garbage Pail Kids.
Skateboarding. Smiley faces. The yellow smiley face started in the 70s. Lava lamps.
The Mad Balls. The Mad Balls were from the 70s, right?
No, 80s.
Was
Stretch
it the 80s?
Stretch Armstrong was the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Hot Wheels.
WrestleMania. The first WrestleMania was in the late 70s, wasn't it?
I think so. Barbie dolls were the 70s. Lego was in the 60s. Became popular in the 70s. Star Wars action figures.
G.I. Joe.
Yep. Tonka trucks in the big wheel.
Oh, man. I miss my Tonka truck.
But
Those old school metal Tonka trucks were amazing.
Ford Pinto hatchback came out in '79. Coke,
I actually had a
Perfect
Ford
Harmony.
Pinto in high school.
Oh, did you? Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes, I did.
Sea Monkeys were the '70s. Mikey Likes It was the '70s. There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff from the '70s. Just hilarious.
Beastmaster.
Yeah,
that's a great movie. I'm
love
not
that.
sorry.
Mark Singer is one of the
great.
nicest guys in showbiz. One of the nicest guys of all time. On a different note, for those who are playing Baldur's Gate out here, what do you all think the #1 race choice has been for Baldur's Gate?
I would say elf.
Close. Half elf is the #1 race choice.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think the #1 class choice is?
I'm gonna go with rogue.
No. Fucking paladin.
Really?
Yes. And this has been proven time and time again that paladins, like when I was doing stuff with Cobalt Press, everybody wanted more stuff for paladins. I don't know what comes with that, the idea of it. But I think it's because
everybody got to be on a religious crusade.
I think it's because there's the Oathbreaker paladin actually in this one. I think that's why.
Maybe. I do like how this is popping right there, though. That's.
That looks really good.
I'm really, really kind of enjoying this vibe right now.
Oh, and did you kind of wash the edges of it down too?
What do you mean?
Like around each one, the dark edges, that's still just from the sepia staining.
What, this in here?
Yeah.
This is just me doing a gradiated fade out
Gotcha.
to the edges as I painted it, and then coming back and doing a second coat more in the center and just kind of continuing that application where it gets thicker and thicker and more solid. It's more evident on some than others because some paints are just like, or some colors are just that way. So I'm gonna go back in. We're gonna add extra little like highlight tones to all of these. But I'm kind of like, I don't know if I, other than like doing little highlight notes, I don't know if I want to do anything else to this one.
I think it looks really good like it is.
It looks beautiful the way it is. So we would have to, at this point, we would have to decide which one's going to be the this month's giveaway and which one's going to be sold.
Next month's, you mean? Next month's giveaway.
Or next month's, yeah.
Last stat. 88 years combined people spent in character creation for Baldur's Gate. 88 years combined.
Yeah, okay, so
that's insane. That's a lot of years in character creation between everyone playing the game. Am I wrong?
No, I didn't say you were wrong.
It's so freaking long. And total time played as of this post was 1,225 combined years for stats. Like a game like this does not come along that often, where people are this hyped, especially not an RPG. And that's in Skyrim, honestly, if we've seen something like this, I don't think. Not Druid Mime, not Druid. A Druid is good in this game, though. I don't know which one of those two I would do. I love the one you're working on right now. It's probably my favorite of the two. The one with the brown.
Oh, the sepia, yeah.
Yeah, sepia tone is probably my favorite.
That kind of henna vibe. Which I'm not opposed to applying the henna effect to this one too. But not in the center. I want the center to be different.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd do for that. I mean, you could pick some of the stripes coming out of it to match the chakra colors. Like how you got some of the bands that come out, like the 2 lines that connect to the red. You could do 2 red stripes, pick 2 orange, pick 2 yellow, and kind of make it like exploding color out from there. Just hitting some Magi lights.
No, that was there was flakes on there, and I was trying to brush them off.
Got ya. Mr. Yuck is mean. Yeah. Shooting you for getting to Act 3 is only 3%. Yep. Yeah, I wanted to be able to, what Serving Hand's talking about Mime is, I wanted to be able to like change the size and the sculpt, but I know they didn't because they want the armor to all fit properly. Like, I get why they didn't do it. Which I'm fine with. I'm okay with it. I wanted to like sculpt them, make the chest a little wider, make the shoulders wider, but you can't sculpt them like that because it would stretch armor, and they're just like, nah, that's not happening. I like it so far. I'm really trying to play without looking anything up. I've had one glitch in the game, at least I think it's a glitch. There's an outpost you go to where there are some followers of Tyr very close to the beginning of the game. And there's just this, like when I walk up the back steps and go through the back door, there's just this like evil magical sound, and I can't find it. I don't know what the fuck is causing it. I don't know if someone casted a spell and got bodied right away and that spell is just stuck in that area. I can't figure out what that noise is. I've searched the entire area from top to bottom, even all the way into the basement, which is a different zone that loads. I don't think it's that. It's surface level zone. Cannot figure it out. Pissing me off. Pissing me off. I don't know what it would be. Riddles, you gonna make the chakram into a cup or a mug? Does that be a great pint glass one?
I'm not sure if I've done it. I don't think I've done it on a pint glass or a mug yet. Where am I now? Green. Okay, green. Yeah, I'm just gonna give these a little gradient glow right now, just to kind of bring the chakras to life a little bit. Because it'd be disappointing, you know. I just think it'd be disappointing to have just plain flat chakra colors on something like this.
I agree. I agree with you.
That's a rare occurrence. All right, so what were you wanting to know about Marvel earlier? Because we
yeah. Okay. So there was a lot of disdain for the playtest, right? Just in general, people weren't a fan. Have you played it? You played it at Gen Con, which was obviously not the beta. Was there a dramatic amount of change to actually make the game better?
Yes.
What is the big change that they made to make it not suck?
For me, it was the way that they started doing the health and everything was a kind of a big kicker to me, and they really gradiated out some of the like the way they described things, and it brought it a little. It runs so smoothly. This is like you can learn this game seriously in 10 minutes, but it handles the complexity of superhero powers so effortlessly. It's
Does
crazy.
It feel freeform with your powers, so it doesn't feel like you're constrained? Okay, because like Champions, I was never a big Champions fan because I felt like you constantly had to follow the rules. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, this was like even during the play when we played at Gen Con, and I've talked about this in a couple of comments on the game because people are already getting their vibe on it and whatnot. But for me, like one of the big complaints, and it even popped up in one of my posts, was about, say, Daredevil, prime example.
Right.
The way they did the rankings for the characters is purely based on what their powers are and their attributes are.
Oh, okay.
Right? It doesn't take into account their history It doesn't take into account who they've beat before,
Sure.
any of that. It doesn't take into it's purely the character's rank is purely drawn from their power set and their attributes.
Oh.
And that lets you know that lets you know how powerful they are, right? And the nice thing about that is that it makes things a little definite, right? So, like with Daredevil, and he was talking to there was a big topic in the one of the panels.
With
at
Forbeck?
Gen Con. Yeah, with Matt. Was that some people in the group felt like he was more than just a level 2 or a level 3, right? Or a level 2, I think is what they have him at. But he was
in comparison to other superheroes. I don't know about that.
Well, there's a lot of really big things that Daredevil's accomplished.
Yeah, he pushes himself more than other people, though.
Well, here's the thing: the way the game is set up, because of how flexible the system is, a character like Daredevil, yes, is going to be a 2 because you're basing it solely on, what you can put on paper, basically.
Sure.
But it's all in how creative you get with using that character's powers. So
yeah,
even though
I like the flexibility of powers because that's a huge thing to me in superhero games.
And that's one thing they really, really focused on making possible. So there was like,
is it still the 616 rules though? Is it still the same mechanic?
Yes, the 616 overall mechanic has not changed, and I like it.
It feels so gimmicky, man.
Once you get into the game, it doesn't feel like a gimmick.
Yeah, it's just a marketing gimmick. I understand that. The actual mechanics are there, but it's such a marketing gimmick.
Well,
it's Marvel though.
Even if you didn't call it 616, the way their style, the mechanic works with that red die, because you need 3d6 is all you need for dice.
Yep.
And of those, you need one to be that you can tell the difference between one and the other 2. Because it is the gimmick is or the if you want to call it a gimmick, the whole thing on that particular item is that the marble die in the middle, the red die. So you have 2 white and a red. That red die it does not have a 1 on it. So that's part of how you always have just a slight advantage.
Okay.
Over the bad guys. So that's built into it. When you get a marble, even if your other 2 dice are like low numbers, marble is always a 6. So when marble comes up, it's a 6, or it's a 1 on a regular die, would be counted as a 6, not a 1. So again, that's what you have. But you take that, and if you get a marble, if you get a 1, basically, that's a fantastic feat. You get extra stuff. Some powers have extra triggers because of it.
Yep.
Some you can use it for either if it's in combat, it'll add a modifier to the damage, and that's another thing that really was smart that they did. The way they handled damage reduction.
Did they not change anything you wish they would have changed from the beta, from the playtest?
That I wish they would have changed?
Yeah, because I know you submitted a lot of stuff to it. Is there anything that you saw that they kept that you wish they would have changed?
I'd have to go back and look at all my notes.
I didn't know from playing it if you still had a part where you're like, I really wish they would have changed this still. Or with the changes that they made, if that stuff now makes sense.
Right.
Because I know character creation's fast. I know that the gameplay is fast. I know that it feels heroic. I know they handled the power levels well between street level on up kind of feel. And everyone I know that's played it at Gen Con said it was a very different experience than the beta.
Yes.
So that makes me happy. I'm glad to hear that. Now if it would be easier to get.
And I think we talked about that last week. That's one of the issues right now is that
I want a
Marvel
PDF.
is-
I don't want the fucking book.
Right. Marvel is has an established distribution network, and they've never established a gaming connection. So they're using their standard, and because Marvel's the one producing it. They're using their standard distribution channels, which means a lot of your local gaming stores don't have access to it, not through their normal channels.
Well, I can't even find a PDF for it.
I don't think they have. They
have it on Roll20.
I do have a PDF of it. I just don't know where to find it.
There's just the VTT on like Drive-Thru RPG and shit like that, and nobody has a PDF. And the mega bundle for the VTT is like $109.
Yeah, it's also on Roll20 and Roll. I will say they just put out a. Oh no, that was I'm thinking Dragonbane. Dragonbane sent out something recently.
Yeah, that's gonna be on Alchemy next month.
Well, they apparently Dragonbane is having issues on Roll20, and Free League is advising people don't use the Roll20 one until it's fixed.
Yep.
I just got that email yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I can't. I've been trying to find anything with the playtest. I don't want the playtest. I want like the actual book, and I can't. And I want it because it's easier to show on stream.
Yeah. But this is looking good, dude.
Yeah, I like the gradients on there a lot. It's really cool, really clean.
Yeah, and I think that's what I like about this one. I like the almost simplicity of it.
Well, the textures from the engraving, like, give you all the highlights and shadows and shit that you need.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
But this one, we're gonna keep painting on this one.
What else are you gonna add?
Honestly, I'm thinking like for this one here, for where the henna is at, the mandala actually is what it is. Is that actually a piece of? We got something stuck in this groove. See it, it's annoying me.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm thinking about doing a gradient of rainbow. With these colors.
Oh, okay.
Alongside.
And leaving the corners unmarked like you did on the other one?
Yep. The corners would remain plain wood. I mean, they'll probably get some paint on them that I'll have to clean off, but no big deal. Like right there. Because I haven't cleaned the edges on this yet, so. And that's all it is. You just take it to X-Acto and kind of clean up the edges just with a light scraping. That's one of the nice things about paint versus inks.
Yep.
An ink would immediately soak into the wood. Paints typically sit on top of wood. They get a little bit of, soak in and bonding, but not as deep or as challenging as ink gets. Yeah, so this is part of my fun little process I do on stuff. Yay. But yeah, I mean, I know I put a post out on it. I think it was last night. The way these things have moved, and then the way the werewolf case has been received this week, I'm super freaking lucky to have so many amazing people, including everyone that's in chat, support what I do. Because there's been a long while there where I was making new stuff and it really wasn't catching on. Especially with the whole challenges of trying to get around Elon Musk's.
Oh my God, we were just talking about that before the show.
Destruction of Twitter, and a lot of creatives have had problems just with the loss of Twitter, basically because it had the
advertising hub.
Yeah, it had the biggest community for what we do, and now it's damn near. Well, I have figured out a few things recently, but it is damn near impossible for us as creatives to get our product or our services in front of people through Twitter anymore. And I mean, I can show you the numbers on Etsy. It's stupid how bad it has gotten for the referral ratings.
Yeah.
From Twitter as a social media platform. It has gotten it's nightmare kind of levels for those of us that were using it as heavily as we were.
It is. And Blue Sky, unfortunately, right now, Blue Sky isn't popular enough, and Threads isn't 100% there. Although I'll be honest, I don't hate Threads. I actually kind of like it.
That's fine. It's not working for me at the moment.
No. I'm talking
text.
strictly.
All you can do is text.
I'm talking strictly platform. I like how it works, but it's just not there. The SEO is not there. That shit's not there. Those things are missing. Same for Blue Sky. Blue Sky doesn't even have GIFs in it, so it's super hard to advertise. But on a way happier note, what's that?
But do you really need GIFs?
I do for doing stuff to make quick animated things that add, and in replies, yes. You may not like GIFs, but they are 100% a part of social media culture.
Oh, I'm not against GIFs.
Yes, they have to be there. They 100% have to be there. The fact that they're not there is detrimental to advertising to break up a long scrolling block of text. It's the only motion you have unless somebody's downloading GIFs and uploading them, and no one fucking does that. GIFs are a form of reply through imagery, moving imagery. So, but on a better note, before I go down social media, X gonna give it to you diatribe. Amulet says, can you explain what these are from start to finish? Such a newborn question. Do they arrive blank or decorated? If they are blank, what's your process? So basically they're asking how you go from picking the box to the application of the design on them to getting them in hand, preparation, to painting them, to finishing them. What your process is.
Honestly, the first part of the process is establishing a relationship with whatever company I'm wanting to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Elderwood, and I established myself with them a while back. They were the first ones that kind of like gave me the opportunity to do something really with my painting skill on their boxes. And with them, I started off just ordering their designs. And then I started, offering up my own designs to put on their product. And we started playing around with that idea. And so I was doing my own for that. And that's kind of where it just kind of started. So now, like say with these guys here, they're a brand new thing. So the first thing I do is I reach out and to find out, okay, do you have a either a template or do you have dimensions for me for the etchable size of what the box? So I do that. Then I start doing my design work, getting the design to format to this aspect ratio and colors and whatnot, or wood and whatnot. Then I set up a Dropbox for them. They take the artwork. If I need a dozen or whatever of one, they do the etching for me. So when I get the boxes are produced by the manufacturer and etched by the manufacturer so that it all holds up to their standards of what they want for their product, so that I'm not, altering anything that would make their product look bad or destabilize the integrity of the piece. Because like I love this. I would love a more open version of this as well, but taking this structure out of here on a thin piece like this is going to allow this to have a much higher opportunity to warp
and crack. So, if you sat on it wrong or dropped it wrong, having no form factor to it.
Yeah. So that's why on the hex chests, right? I get them from them and I order them either with the beehive like this one or open like this one. I let them do that part. I don't make those modifications. So if they don't offer an open version, I don't typically try to push for that. Right. Unless it's something that I see a viable option for, and then I talk to them and we work things out, whether or not it'll work or not.
And this was a very different process too, because these boxes were a design from Norse Foundry and Elderwood talking, the interior.
Right.
And then
the
they
box
came out,
itself.
and then but Norse doesn't own them. It's just a collaboration talk that they did, correct?
Right. And Norse helped basically funded the art time and design time from Elderwood to create these boxes, as far as I understand. So there was a huge, they had a huge or a large pony in that race to make sure these were done properly. And with guys like Elderwood and Jess, it works at Whimsy. And I'll tell you, like, working with Jess is a dream, because she's like so super collaborative in that aspect. And she's, a small creative like me. Elderwood is amazing, just as easy to work with. It's just, they are a bigger company, so sometimes it is hard to kind of connect with one person. So that's just a reality, a thing kind of thing. So, and there's going to be companies out there that if you want to work with them, may be a challenge. Places like the Bad Table Company, they don't really like working with other creatives like in this aspect, in this space, that I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
The sad truth, or the sad loss of Dogmite. Dogmite made some amazing stuff, but I know that they ran their margins really tight because of the fact that they didn't have any room in their margins to be able to offer something like a wholesale, which is kind of what I need to be able to make these viable. So that's why I never worked with Dogmite, but Dogmite made incredible stuff and had incredible artists working for them. They were just, their margins were kind of low, which kind of really, it made them competitive, but it hurt their profitability. So I think that's part of what kind of caught up with them. And that's just speculation on my part. So don't take that as what actually happened. Yeah, so that's kind of the process. It's their product, their boxes, my designs on the top, and the designs, some of them are from scratch kind of designs. Some of them are pieces where I use like, and I haven't brought this name up in a while, but Creative Market. Yep. There is a whole industry network of people that create artwork for other people. They create, these purchasable stock art, and there's agreements and stuff like that. One thing I will say, like with stock art, modify it as much as possible. Don't just take it and use it as is, because anybody can do that. If you're going to use stock art, make modifications, make changes, make it your own. Just use it as a. It really should just be a tool that you use to help you get where you want to go. It should not be your final solution in general. It should just be a tool that you use to get to that final destination faster.
Yeah, so I think you mentioned the thing with Jess and working with him. You don't get those collab spaces like that where you can bounce ideas back and forth. There's something about working with a creative that is not only sure of their talents, but does not take ideas and direction as insult or injury.
No. Yep.
That is the true collaborative process. And working in video games and working virtually in video games, that collaborative process, your ego gets checked at the fucking door. Like your job is to make something amazing together. If you think you can do it just on your own, you're out of your mind. And I love collab processes. I love doing them. I think they're fun. The only issue I ever run into with collab process is the same problem we ran into in school, where there's a group of 5, but only 2 people are doing all the work.
Right. The thing
that sucks.
One of the things I look for in a really good collaboration partner, in any way, shape, or form, is somebody who's going to tell me no.
Yeah.
Or somebody who's going to be, because if they're willing to tell you no, or if they're willing to tell you we shouldn't do that, or anything like that, or like, no, that color combination doesn't look good. The honesty is what I want. When you can have open honesty where nobody gets hurt by what you're saying.
No doesn't have to be negative. Constructive criticism is huge. It's the only thing that Myad was worth my time for, is taught me to check my ego at the door. I hated college in general. I left that school. I didn't finish it. But it did teach me constructive criticism is just to improve what you're doing. Yeah. It's a huge thing. It's a huge part of the process. And some people learn it when they're older. Some people get to learn it when they're young. There's a lot of things that cause, but if you can learn anything, the thing to learn is constructive criticism, and no isn't bad. Like,
right.
When you combine with somebody and you're just shooting ideas out rapid fire, it's literally just vacating space to come up with more ideas in the process. And if you don't get a no here and there, you're just going to make a bunch of shit before you make something good. You got to have some no's. You can't say yes to everything. I agree. And I work better collaboratively than I do solo at certain points in my process. I don't know about you. I have to have some solo time in my process before I collab.
Yeah.
Because I got to have my fundamental ideas ready before I can bring it to the table.
Yeah.
Unless it's a brainstorm session. That's a totally different concept. Brainstorming, I think, is totally different.
We're coming up on the end of the episode.
We are. We got 20 minutes left.
I need to ask the question. We need to do a poll for the audience.
Uh-oh.
So this one still needs work. We're going to complete that one way or another. Doesn't matter. But are we releasing this one, or do we want this one to be this month's raffle? Do we like it enough that...
Oh, okay. Hold on here. Let me.
Do we like it enough that, because I'm not touching this one anymore. I love.
Yeah, I would put it out of arm's reach kind of feel.
Yeah, I love where this landed, and I don't want to go too far with it.
Let me.
As an artist, I'll tell you that's one of the hardest things, is knowing when a piece is done.
To check it, yeah.
When to stop yourself from doing more. That's one of the hardest things.
I'm gonna start a poll here then.
Yeah. So do we want to keep this for the? Because if we keep it, that's fine, and I'll finish painting.
So what do you want to call sepia? Is the one on the screen right now, right?
Yep. We'll call it. How about henna? We'll do henna, and we're gonna do decorative. Because the decorative is going to have a lot more color in this outer area. I really want to bring some life to that some way, somehow.
So henna.
Radiant is one option, but it's not my only option.
Do we do this now? Let's wait until you finish painting the other one, because I feel like we're making people make a vote when they don't know what the other one looks like yet.
Fine.
You know what I mean? Because then we're just going to have to re-vote again.
What do you mean re-vote again?
Because what happens if you paint this one and it's some gorgeous out-of-the-box masterpiece after you add color to the edges and everybody wants that instead? We gotta wait. We gotta wait until you're done. Or nearer done.
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
Fine.
Just saying. My vote's the henna style, personally. I think it's gorgeous.
I do too.
That's maybe in my top 5 pieces you've done. It's just so fucking clean.
Yeah, it is. I'm surprised it worked as well as it did.
And I'm not a chakra design fan either.
Yeah, I can understand that. But no, I really like where this one's heading so far. I don't know. I like the rainbow idea, but I also like doing a more. Ooh, wait. Oh, I got it. All right, never mind. I know what I'm doing with this one.
Oh, no. Am I in trouble?
No. You're not in trouble.
Did you make something silly?
No, it's not silly, but it's going to be one of those things where I think I've used it in a technique I've used in other pieces in the past.
Okay.
I don't think I've used it on a lot of dice boxes, so I think we're gonna do that on here. Yeah. Okay. Scribble a little note to myself.
Oh no.
Off screen that nobody else can read. Yeah. You don't want to vote? Fine.
Don't be like that. Don't you be like that. What are you doing, Riddles?
Making notes so I know what I want to do with it.
What are you doing? What is it? We want to know. We have 15 minutes left. I want to know.
Well, how's it feel to want?
Well, I mean, I can turn it off. It's a light switch. Oh, look, I don't care anymore. See how that went? You were mean to me, and now I don't care anymore. I feel offended. Can't even say it with a straight face. Can't say it with a straight face. Oh, for those who missed while Riddles is doing this, we had a whole bunch of new merch come out. Specifically, the Ghostial green on white secret tumbler. Really, it's Malort. That has been doing really well for all my fans out there who drink stuff and want a funny wine tumbler. I got a rocks tumbler. I ordered one to do drinks in it. It's pretty entertaining. The secret shirt is out. Somebody just picked one up. Once you scan your QR code, I'll add you into the secret group, which is our channel in Discord that after shows we meet up there and do the secret stuff, which is super fun. And then there was something else. There's something else I was gonna tell you all. 3 new shows coming up. Corpse Talk starts this month. Then the second week of September, 2 new shows are starting. Our 1970s show, which is an action suspense drama using everyday heroes. I can't say the IP, but I promise you know what it is. And then...
Is it Magnum PI?
No. And then I believe Blade Runner is going to be our second show, which I'm pretty excited for. That's on the screen right now. That is the current LAUGHAL, the works of Whimsy and Dice Goblin Riddles Grim Reaper box. That's the fatty too, right? That's the one with the card and extra stash space. It's everything in it. It's got that on the front, and then that has a skull on the side too, correct?
Right. The end caps are skulls.
Yeah, let me put it on the big screen. Yep.
Yep. There's actually a window on the side.
It looks like a carriage.
Yep. So yeah, I'm quite okay with this.
And that's this month's.
Yes, this is the one that people are entering to win this month.
Yeah.
Which we will draw on the 31st.
Yeah, I can't believe we have 4 shows this month.
Well, it's a good thing, you know.
Oh, I'm not complaining, good sir. I'm not complaining. But other than that, is there anything new that you wanted to talk about at all? To close us out, we got 10 minutes left. This show cooked by the way.
I don't have anything major up top of my head. I do have more of these boxes coming with other designs that we haven't shown yet.
Yeah.
I'm working. Oh, I have something I'm working on with Jess.
Ooh.
To kind of take the folding dice trays to a different level. So I will be ordering some of those from her this week.
The leather ones?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So I'm super happy with what what's going on there. Again, she was such a champ, working with me, and guiding me that direction. And again, this is something where, she made a template for the trays that I could use to set up my artwork. So again, I mean, to the question before, just if you find a company you want to work with, just ask them, talk to them, So,
do you have any? We should go over a process one week about how you make your designs, because I know there's some extra detail that has to go into. Isn't it the line thicknesses for the engraving and stuff like that to do depths and shit like that?
There's something for there's things for that, and I am working on improving I'm working on my AI skills basically. So I'm starting to work. I'm not creating in a vector format. I'm still creating in a raster format
and throwing it through something.
It's converting them to vector.
How's that work for you so far? Has it been pretty clean, the process?
The process is a little jumbly, depending on what piece I'm working from, and I have discovered that if I set everything up properly in Photoshop, and then I open up a new document in AI.
What are you using for AI? What's your AI you're using?
Illustrator.
Oh,
Adobe Illustrator is the original AI. Fuck everybody else.
I thought you meant you found a way to take your vector lines and have an AI generate your depth maps for you. That's what I thought you did. I was like, oh, that would be dope. But I know Illustrator very well.
Yeah, but if you take a Photoshop document and drop it into a new Illustrator document, it will. You have prompts for
converting.
You want to import the layers as objects or shapes.
Yep.
Which makes it a lot easier to convert it to a laser format or a vector format, so that lasers can use it.
I mean, there's even live trace programs for Illustrator. Will live trace
right.
For
and
you.
I have to use live trace if I'm working from a PNG or something like that. So that gets a little different. I am learning that, and I'm tweaking it.
Less vector points, the better. Less vector points, the better.
I went through the process on one that was super complicated. Doing that just so I could learn it. That between combining layers or combining shapes and then subtracting those shapes from the shapes beneath it, the whole process, so that I could come up with a that kind of.
I do a ton of Illustrator work, and you're right. There's also, if you haven't found it yet, there's a great option in Illustrator when you select all your stuff that you have, and I learned this doing patterns in Illustrator, so you might have done this too, where you can tell it to reduce how many vertices you have. And you can actually say reduce the amount of vertices, and it'll take out points for you, and you just make sure you don't lose any of your lines. Works really well. I usually make 2 layers, put one on one layer, one on the other, and do vertices for that layer and see if they still line up. And if not, I go through and change them. But dude, Illustrator's a different monster. If you've never worked in it, you just don't know. It's so fucking different.
The reason to convert, if you're going to work with lasers, the reason to convert, and this death one is a prime example.
That's very detailed, actually.
A lot of small details. This was challenging to do from a raster because I had to keep tweaking the contrast. Because as you shrink it down, you lose detail.
Yeah. How long did it take you to actually do it? To convert it, like roughly?
This one here, this is before I started converting for Illustrator.
Oh,
so this is purely off of a rasterized PNG.
Gotcha.
But I have to go in and tweak a lot of things when it shrinks down to something like this.
Yep.
Or even smaller on the hex chest.
Yep.
And I've found also another little trick I found. If you do live trace, like the hex chests are a 3-inch width. So you're dealing with a fairly small piece.
Yeah, it's not a very large surface area to work on.
When you do live trace on something that's set at that size, it can lose a lot of detail. It can lose a lot of shape because it's trying to do it within a certain parameter for the interpolation engine.
That makes sense.
To get around that, where you don't lose your inherent shapes. Start with all of my images are pretty much in raster format are 60 by 60 as far as inches, 60 inches by 60 inches at 300 DPI. If I take that into Illustrator, it has all this room, like this curve is now this big instead of trying to make a curve this big.
Yeah.
So at this small, if it's only using 8 points, it's not going to be a perfect curve. You're going to lose some of it. But at this size, it's got all the space it needs to make those curves nice and smooth.
Yeah, you got to work in ratios for sure.
Without losing the shapes. So between that and you will get a crisper, cleaner etch from a vector than you will from a PNG.
Is there anything you would tell people to make sure they don't do when they're making designs to go into something that's going to get laser etched? Like, do not do X ever.
As best as you can, avoid doing large areas of a burn.
Deep or just big surface area?
Big surface area.
Why is that?
Well, so typical wood, when you finish it like this, is smooth, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you get whenever you burn wood is that it's that laser is cutting at a certain power, not depth, but power. So that means when it goes over it, like a walnut, one of my favorites, walnut has a high variance of density between its grains.
Oh, okay.
So the more dense grains don't burn as easily as the low density grains.
Gotcha.
So you end up with this very sharp edge kind of texture to those big flats. But they don't just etch flat. If you want it flat, you've got to CNC it.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
which is a completely different process. So So there is that to consider whenever you're doing wood. Sometimes that works in your favor, and also just know the application that you're wanting to do afterward.
You're talking about painting it, or
if this is something you're going to paint, think about what parts you want to paint and what parts you want to be engraved, because like doing an inlay versus a highlight is very different. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
The process.
Well, you just started playing with texture to create highlighted areas, like recesses, for when you were painting. Because I think the moon was the first time you did texturing to cause shadow. Right? Am I correct? It was the moon one you did. The God, I can't remember the name of the piece. You textured the actual wood around the moons to make them different when you painted them, because you said you hadn't done it before, like gradient. You did gradient etching.
Oh, like the recent ones?
Yeah. You said that was new. You were doing gradient etching. You tried it on the moon one.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's when you saw the koi fish and you were noticing those white lines.
Yeah,
that's the same effect.
Oh, because you can, okay.
So the outer ring is solid and it gradiates to the center, but only so much. So that's why that slow rise to the center is what gives you that highlight, a light highlight edge on the bubble.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. That's cool. I didn't know that's part of the process.
Yep. To do highlights like that, or to do pieces like that, it does have to be a raster. Gotcha. So that's a little bit of a different challenge. You can.
Is it 2 passes to do that, or is it still just 1 laser pass?
It's still just 1 laser pass. Okay. Yep.
That's cool.
That's why you do it as a raster in that. So just but you can do gradients, and it does do effects like that. Obviously, the strength setting of the laser itself, how deep the wood is.
Line thickness determines depth, correct? Or is it color?
What?
For when you're doing laser etching, what determines the depth that the laser shoots?
Color. And laser is only looking at black and white, so it's not looking at any other colors. So if you gradiate a little bit, or if you use a lighter gray, it is going to etch it shallower.
Oh, okay. So it's a grayscale that it works off of.
Yeah.
So is black the deepest and white is the shallowest?
Black is the deepest, and then you should have no white realistically, but a lot of the RIP programs out there, but I don't know why I said program after it, because P stands for program.
It's like ATM machine.
Yeah, a lot of the RIPs that are out there will take an actual photo and convert it to a grayscale or a black and white with different adjustments that you can do inside the program. But
it's like set your black as X depth and your percentages of gray are different depths. Okay, that makes sense.
Right. So I mean, there's a lot of effects, and it also depends on what RIP you're using. RIPs are usually specific to a certain company.
Yep. To the laser that is being used.
Right. Yeah. So and
it's like 3D printing.
RIPs are not just for laser etching. You use RIPs for sublimation printing. You use RIP for any large format printing is going to have a RIP basically, and it's a rasterization image program is all it is.
Yep. RIP, because that's the amount of fucking time you're going to lose. I'm literally wearing the hat.
Which is the funny thing is that technically speaking, these machines run from rasterized images.
Yep.
But they get better quality if you feed them a vector.
It's true. It's so. It's such an ass backwards process. And I'm asking these questions as someone who's done a lot of it, just so the audience can learn as well. But God, why is it so complex for no reason?
The other nice thing about a RIP, like if you ever play around with a RIP, and you've played around with, like, say, Photoshop, Photoshop, because it's a raster program, it's working from pixels. If you increase your image up to 200%, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
But once you start going beyond that 200% increase, you start getting pixelization. You start getting artifacts in your colors, things like that.
Yep.
You start losing your quality. That's one of the things about a RIP program. A RIP program, even a bad RIP program, can go 400 times the size.
So it fills the gaps in.
Blow it up 400, and it's just the way the RIP is. It's made for doing this.
That's how you made. I mean, all started, if I remember correctly, with billboards. Was the whole way that RIP programs started, was because they had to find a way to make these 40-foot by 20-foot things not look like shit. And basically, it knows how many pixels per square inch, and when you expand those 400%, it duplicates and fills the gap for pixels. That's essentially what it's doing. It's just a learning. It's math. It's actually math. It's art math.
That's exactly what it is.
It's fucking art math. It's crazy. Anyway. See, we nerded out about something on the show
and now
that only artists would know that have done this shit too long. I remember printing shit in Costa Rica for billboards for my buddy Lou, who was selling condos, and I made a bunch of billboards, and we're getting them printed. And the company did not understand what a RIP is called, what it is. They call it something else in Costa Rica, but we could not print it elsewhere. And they just consider it sublimation printing.
Yeah.
But they consider it something else because a lot of people don't know. Either someone's going up there by hand and painting it. Those people are crazy. Or it's wallpaper. You're basically rolling on large sheets that they're going up and they get lined up and they have to look good. It took us forever.
You are totally welcome for all that. And
for sure.
Anytime you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. I mean, if I don't know, he doesn't know. We'll figure.
If one of us doesn't know, we know someone who knows.
Yeah. So I mean, don't be afraid to ask questions anytime during stream. And if you ever want to reach out privately, have any questions, I'll answer what I can.
This is an important thing I think too about Web 2.0 culture. While YouTube and stuff is a great way to learn your 101 level stuff and maybe even your 102 level stuff, when you get into the minutia of day-to-day practice and whatever it is that you do, have it be an auto mechanic to painting to whatever it is you do, you can't get expert experience through YouTube on specific topics. That's why things like Reddit exist still, because people are asking very specific questions. But even then, that stuff doesn't get answered. You have to talk to somebody who does it all the time. So when everyone worries about like AI taking over and things like that, I remind people, if you are an expert in what you do, you will have the ability to solve problems that other things currently don't have.
It's like I think we touched point on this last week, or maybe it was off screen, I forget. But AI is really a misnomer. These programs are computer generated, and they do have the ability to learn from things, but that doesn't necessarily make them AI. They're not.
It's artificial. No, that's right. It's artificial.
Well, it's artificial, but it's computer generated.
Sure, to a point. I mean, they are not actually thinking on their own. They are computing through things learned. But we do the same thing. We learn through computing. My point being is an expert on right now. If you go to ChatGPT and you ask about sublimation printing, you will hit a wall.
Yeah.
You will hit a wall. And that's when the people who do it full time come into play. So, and then once we're out, maybe finally everyone will get paid for just being alive. And that would be fucking great. I would love to be paid for just being alive, like some countries, and be able to create art and enjoy life at a different level instead of the hustle and bustle nonstop. But anyway, I love it. I do like these talks. That's why I'm doing this talk show coming up. I'm super excited. Because I get to do deep dives with people while murdering them. I mean, killing killing the night, not them, the night. In the words of Todd. Be specific. People are listening. But that's it for us. We went over a little bit. We'll be back next week. We got 2 more shows left.
Yep.
4. We have 4 this month. Get your Ko-Fi tickets. Get your StreamLoot cards if you haven't picked them up and you're interested in getting the box on screen right now. This is currently the box for the month. I'm excited. We only had a few cards played. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any. There's one more to end our show off. One more.
Okay. All right.
Watching
looking-
paint dry is way better in snorting coke off my foot arch mode.
I don't know about that. I could argue that.
I mean, yeah, I could do it. I could snort off my foot. I could do it. I don't do coke, but I could do it. I could snort off my foot. So thanks for that one, Mime. That's another entry for you this month. If you want to get laughs in, pick up your Streamloot cards. It's a really cost-effective way to help support the show. And then you get chances to enter into the drawing for this lovely Ripper box. Speaking of Rip, that's it for us this week. Wave by, Riddles. Don't make this a parallel dimension this week.
Bye, Riddles.
There we go. He got it right. Scared me last week.
Have a great week, guys.
I thought I was going to die last week. Hey, everybody. This is Riddles on the screen right now. Go check out his Etsy store. The new boxes are selling out nonstop. They last about 12 hours, so if there's one that you want, now's your time. And as for me, everybody, I will be back here in about 2 hours to do Design Day as we dive back into doing Corpse Talk. Today, we're doing the XD overlay layouts. Join me, chat, shoot the shit, make your workday better. But for things that are Eric Frankhouse Presents or EFP, share with your friends. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, you're watching this live feed afterwards. On this side, there'll be a video to watch. On this side, there's going to be the bell to click. This here, this piece, this right where my face is, click it, because we're trying to get 500. Once we get 500, we can bring over like the super chats and bring all the fun things in that we had on Twitch, because I don't want to go back to Twitch because we can do such higher quality here. That's it for me today, everyone. Have a great one, and I will see you all in about 2 hours as we continue the day. Bye, everybody.